Hello, folks. This is Cimbolic of the Council of 12 reporting out to you on our show on Blog Talk Radio, the one that took place yesterday, January 30th, 2010. The topic was grants and grant writing, and we had a guest, Veronica Hartwell from the Nominal Group, who has at least 27 years in the field of grant writing, program development, program evaluation. She's a true expert in grants and grant writing. Fascinating show. By the way, in Atlanta, Georgia, they're having a 2-day training on grant writing for those of you in the Atlanta area. It's going to be February 19th and February 20th at the John Hope Community Center, 560 Larkin Street Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. Cost $150 for 2 days. The first half day is primarily focuses on assessing an organization's infrastructure and making sure that the organizations have the components in place in order to successfully apply for and administer a grant. If those components if you have those components in place, of course, the remaining day and a half are very effective for you. Otherwise, it's informational. So they do training. She's with the Nominal Group. She's a CEO, Chief Executive Officer of the Nominal Group, manages the board of directors. They do a great deal of work with community agencies, assisting them writing grants, assisting them in program development, assisting them to prepare for grants. Um, so I'll put a link in a sidebar. Fascinating show. I mean, for me, well, grants come in all shapes and sizes. There are hundreds of millions. I don't know the total figure available in grants. I know the one organization I work for receives hundreds of millions of dollars a year in grants. So I assume there are billions of dollars available in grant with the new stimulus package, the Economic Recovery Act. More of those dollars, it's desired that they reach the community level to impact communities. So this is a prime time for communities to write grants and apply for grants. For me, one of the key things that came out of this show is uh, thoughts about block clubs and neighborhood associations. We did a couple of shows on those a couple of months ago. People were saying that they were funded primarily by dues. Someone had mentioned grants. Well, it turns out that if you structure your block club or community association as a nonprofit, you can apply for grants. Grants of all kinds. There are grants for art in the community. There are grants to teach youth chess and the skills of chess, which are fascinating. Job development, people integrating, being released from prison and integrating back into the community, community safety. You name it, as she says, you name it, you come up with any idea, there is a corresponding grant for this. Now, if every community had a small group of grant writers, we could transform the communities in this country. Absolutely. Um, so, if you have a block club, a neighborhood association, if you don't form one, if you do, structured properly, look into writing grants to achieve your ends, to achieve improvement of the community, because it's remarkable. Um, why let the grant money remain unused and just go back to the federal government or whatever foundation or government is offering it? Uh, Grants are free. I mean, it's not like a loan, that you have to pay back or pay interest on. Of course, we're responsible and accountable for how the money is spent, which is all well and good, But why if you qualify for a grant, why go to a bank and get a loan? By the way, some banks do make grants too. So if you're in a community, if you're a community organization, why not go to the bank and ask for a grant to improve the community that bank serves? So that's also a source of grants. Other than that, you have federal government, state and local government, and you have various foundations. Writing grants for foundations is different than writing grants for government. They're two different kind of beasts. Um, um, which takes us down to, I think, the profession. According to Veronica, and it sounds like it to me, it's a fascinating profession, grant writing. It takes time to learn. There's a lot of skills involved. You have to stay current with the trends in grants and the requirements, which are changing, generally changing. But if you enjoy writing, you like creative writing, you enjoy expansive writing, consider it as a profession. And as I say, a small number of grant writers in each community can transform those communities. So you can really put your skills to effective use for something good, huh? Um, uh, Grants are becoming more complex. Some of the key ideas is if you don't know how to write a grant, get someone who does. And even if you think you know how to write a grant, you want to get a group to review it. Um, Veronica stressed that an organization to successfully apply for and administer a grant successfully really needs to have the proper infrastructure in place, the proper organizational structure, um, and capacity to do this. And part of what her group specializes in is coming out, assessing organizations, determining what their structure is, whether their structure has the capacity to effectively apply for and handle a grant, and then they will also, if so, they will assist the organization in applying for and you know uh, applying for a grant. They'll all ship the grant off. They'll do everything. There are a lot of grant writers out there who, if you're an organization and you're thinking about hiring a grant writer approaches you, you want to make sure they have the proper certification. You want to make sure that they have a history of successes. You want to see the references. You want to call the references. You want to know also what type of grant they've applied for, foundational or government. And for instance, her organization does that too. They provide a list of references, history of successes. Uh, to make sure that there's a code of ethics too for grant writers. I found it on the American Grant Writers Association. They certify grant writers, and they have a code of ethics. Someone should not come to you and offer to write a grant for a percentage of the grant, either in advance or after the grant is obtained. That's apparently unlawful. It's certainly unethical. So hire grant writers with a critical eye. The sky's the limit as far as what grants can be written for. Um, uh, what do we have here? Oh, she emphasized partnerships, strategic partnerships between community organizations and agencies. If alone an organization does not have the capacity or the basically the people in the street either to effectively apply for and obtain a grant, you want to partner with other groups that have the same basic mission and the same target populations, and together as a group you can apply for a grant. And then perhaps one of the organizations, one with the financial infrastructure in place, can be the lead group on the grant and can make sure and be responsible for whether how the resources are distributed. But this way, by coming together in partnerships, um, you know the grant can be obtained, where solitarily alone none of the groups might be able to obtain a grant, or obtain it and not be able to actually administer it and achieve what needs to be done because they don't have the people in the street to do it. So form partnerships, form them in advance. You want to form all these relationships and partnerships before a grant is ever announced. When a grant's announced, there's only, say, 30 to 90 days for people to apply for it. You don't want to be trying to throw these pieces in place to rush these things through, because it is possible then that the alliances will dissolve, and that basically you won't achieve what the grant is meant to be achieved for. Um, that was a key point. So listen, if you're out there, if you're talking about, you have a lot of ideas for the community, look into grant writing. Hook up with somebody who can write the grants, hook up with organizations, and get involved with this. Uh, um, as a profession, it's a fascinating field, takes time to learn the craft. Um, but it's fascinating, and there are nonprofit and for-profit organizations that hire grant writers. Um, I don't know what else to say. There are grants for everything. Grants for art in the community. I may have said this already, but grants for art in the community, grants to teach kids chess, grants. As she said, any idea you can come up with, there's probably a corresponding grant. Um, so that's a story on grant writing. Fascinating field. Look into it. As a profession, pick up the skills, pick up the training. If you're a community-based organization, Start forming those partnerships so that you can effectively apply for a grant as a group. Um, it can transform our communities, and it's a very creative process at the same time. That's a story. Our thanks to Veronica Hartwell. Links in the description box. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.